Hello and thank you for coming to the McWaters Effect. I'm your host, Matt. Today we're going to be looking at Joe Biden's tax hikes and infrastructure bill. Now, first thing I want to say is I looked at some of the tax hikes. I don't like most of them. And there's a few things in it that's actually good. I'm going to go over that. But first I want to show this video from Fox News with a Democrats' perspective as well as Republicans' perspective on this tax bill, infrastructure bill.
Stimulus with a multi-trillion-dollar infrastructure package in the works. There's new talk tonight of how the Biden administration plans to recoup some of that spending, and it has to do with raising taxes, a lot of them. Congressional correspondent Jackie Heinrich looks at some of the possibilities tonight.
Someone has to pay for President Biden's infrastructure package expected to cost trillions, and Democrats say corporations and the rich ought to foot the bill.
He has proposed that corporations and wealthy individuals should pay more in order to meet the needs of the economy, the spending we need to do.
Bloomberg reports there are discussions around raising the corporate tax rate from 21% to 28%, paring back tax preferences for limited liability companies or partnerships, raising the income tax rate for people making more than $400,000 a year, expanding the estate tax, and raising the capital gains tax on millionaires. But Republicans say the middle class will pay the price.
If you look at what the Biden administration is doing now, whether gas prices are up, inflation is up, but what's going to do is hurt all the families that are on fixed income, the lower income families.
Leery of tax hikes for businesses and people, the U.S. Chamber of Commerce floated an alternative, calling a modest increase in the gas tax a reasonable way to pay for surface transportation projects. But so far, neither party has signed on. Publicly, Democrats are asking for GOP support, but privately,
You're most likely to have these reconciliations. Yeah, the Republicans will be with you at your point.
What Senator Ben Cardin uttered on a hot mic, Senator Bernie Sanders said without pausing. Democrats intend to pass the bill along party lines. Majority Leader Chuck Schumer wasn't as direct.
We must get bold change, and if our Republican friends block it, we're going to put our heads together and figure out the best way to go. Everything's on the table. It's plain and simple.
Minority Leader Mitch McConnell confirmed Democrats' suspicions.
The Trojan horse will be called infrastructure. But inside the Trojan horse will be all the tax increases. The only way I think they could pull that off would be through a reconciliation process. And my suspicion is they will try to jam everything they can into that bill.
Now, after both sides address the elephant in the room, there might be hope yet for bipartisanship. Lawmakers are talking to their home states about which roads, bridges, and ports need improvement, but you can expect a divide on how to fix it, with Democrats pushing for green investments. Brett.
And how to pay for it. Jackie.
Okay, I tend to agree with the Republicans when it comes to the tax part of the bill, but the infrastructure part of the bill, we do need more better infrastructure, such as better roads, better bridges, work on power plants, put more security at our electric plants, and also water plants. Now, with saying that, Biden says he will get Democrats to vote for the tax increase, but he also wants to try to get some Republicans to get bipartisan support. When it comes to tax increases, I don't see them supporting it. Both parties have like spending money. I have no doubt they would agree on the infrastructure part of it. So they need to find a compromise somewhere in the middle, hopefully. And there's no doubt in my mind, most people would agree, this country does need better infrastructure, especially when it comes to water plants, roads and bridges, and the highway system is outdated. And we need to get into high-speed rail. China is blowing right past us when it comes to high-speed rail. We're behind. We need to catch up. And I think this bill would be perfect for us to do so. That's if you can get the Republicans to go out there and vote for it. Now here's this story. Dems lock on corporate tax hikes to fund infrastructure. Now we're going to go over some of these tax hikes and see if it actually will cover the infrastructure plan. First, I want to go over the tax rates that would actually affect people, not corporations, just people. Okay, they want to raise the capital gains tax to 39.6%. And that's for people that are above $1 million. The problem with that is people that make over $1 million are most of the time the ones that are putting equity into businesses. Guess what they're going to do if you raise their taxes? They're not going to hire as many people. They're not going to try to expand. They have to have capital in order to expand or to hire more people. The next one is raise income rates for people that make over $400,000. It depends on what state you're in, whether or not $400,000 is a lot of money. Like in California, New York, $400,000, if you're making that a year, you're part of the middle class. Now, if you go to states like, Mississippi, Alabama, you're in a higher income bracket. You're well off. You're not rich, but you're well off. Okay? So it just depends on what state you're in. I don't think 400,000 is the proper number. I'd say go around 600,000 or 700,000. When you're around 700,000, you're in New York, California, anywhere on the West Coast, you're well off. The next one is expand the estate tax. Now, my big problem with this is, okay, let's say you have a father, your father passed away, and he spent his whole life gathering up land, has quite a bit of money in there in his savings account, and also in 401ks, so on and so forth. And he has a few cars, obviously a house, and he paid taxes on all of it, except for the 401k, of course, but paid taxes on all of it. Now that he passed away, you get that stuff, and the government takes a percentage of it when taxes have already been paid on it. So pretty much your father is paying taxes twice. Once while he's alive, and then again after he dies. That's bullshit. Really, this part of the tax plan is going after rich people. All right, let's look at someone like the former president, Donald Trump. He's worth $4 billion, okay? If he passed away and the kids get that money, they're still billionaires. It does not affect them, okay? Where it's going to affect people are people in the middle class, poor people, because it's the same rate regardless how much you make. That money should get that would help younger people pay off college debt, or help people to get out of situations with mortgage debt, anything like that. They could help people to get out of debt and make it where they probably won't get out of debt. Just doesn't make sense to me. You hurt people that are in the lower income brackets. You're not hurting rich people. Jeff Bezos is worth billions of dollars. You think him passing away and giving his money to his kids is going to affect his kids any? If you take half of it? No. They still won the lottery. Okay, next is to increase the corporate tax rate from 21% to 28%. You might as well call that a tax on the middle class and the poor, because corporations, you know what they're going to do with that? They're just going to bring that tax down to the people that are buying products from them. It's going to increase the price of products, where middle class and poor are going to have to pay for higher prices on products. That's all they're going to do. And then some corporations are going to say, all right, and just move out of the country. We've had that happen whenever we had a higher tax rate. Before it went down, we had the highest tax rate in the world. Well, in the industrial world. And now, you want to raise it even higher than what it was? I think it's bad policy. Now, if you want to raise it a couple percentage points, go ahead. 23% will be still lower than most countries in the world. Okay? When you raise it to 28, we're going to be higher than any country in the world at that point. Now, there's been a study done that the GDP would go down by 1.2%. Now, a couple years ago, our GDP was around 4 or 5% when Trump was in office. It started going down because, the whole COVID stuff going on. When it goes down like that, it's not a good sign. That means corporations aren't putting as much money into the businesses as they were before, or into their employees, such as raising their wages and so on and so forth. Pretty much the gross national product has gone down. What you wanted to do is go up. Okay, according to Tax Policy Center, this bill would estimate to take $2 to $4 trillion in revenue. Okay, and that's within 10 years. We just passed the bill, the COVID stimulus bill. It's $1.9 trillion. So this bill here, at the low end, may not even pay for that. How is it supposed to cover infrastructure? This country is $27 trillion in debt. This bill is a dime in the bucket. That's all it is. It's a stopgap measure, making people think, especially progressives, hey, we're taking it to the man. We're taking it to rich people and the 1%. No, you ain't. You're not hurting them one bit. You're hurting the middle class. Just like every tax bill. When it's tax increases, who's it hurt? Middle class. Okay, now I've said there's some good stuff in here. And here it is. Increase the child tax credit to $2,000 to $3,000. They haven't decided which one yet. For kids that are 17 years or younger, while dependents that are under the age of 6 will get an extra $600 bonus for each child. Right now, the child tax credit is about $1,000 per child. And I think it only goes up to 2 children. This actually gets rid of the 2 children and goes to however many children you have and increases it anywhere from 2 to 3 times. And then you have a bonus of $600 if the kid is under 6. I actually like this part of the bill. It's going to help. It'll help middle class people. It'll also help poor people as well. And I think there's another reason they're doing these kind of tax credits too. And it's because they want to increase, they want people to start having kids again. I mean, you have to ask yourself a question. Why do they have the borders open like they do? And it's because they need workers to pay taxes in the United States. Okay? And the reason they need that is because either they do that or they're going to have to find some other way to pay for Social Security. Because the more people you have in the workplace, the easier it is to pay for your Social Security. Right now, the way the Social Security is set up, every 3 people that are working, 1 person's getting it. Okay? When they first started it, it was 16 people to 1 person getting it. And the reason is because we weren't living as long. Now we're living longer. And not only that, there's less people in the workplace right now too because of people not having children. So this is trying to get people to trying to motivate people to have children. But I think that's the main reason. Well, other than obviously Democrats want votes and Republicans want cheap labor. That's why they have the borders open, because they see a tax revenue there that would help stabilize Social Security. Now, this story says Republicans won't support tax hike to fund Biden's infrastructure, McConnell says. He's right. I think you're going to have to take out most of these tax increases. I think you might be able to do the corporate tax increase, maybe increase it by 23%. And that's probably about it. And also keep the child tax credit. And I forgot about one other credit they're putting in there. That's the home buyer's credit. Starting that up again, it'd be $15,000. I think if you keep these in there and also have the infrastructure bill, Republicans will probably pass it. Well, at least you'd get some Republican votes. And if that's what he wants, I think that'd be the best way for him to do it. But of course, the progressives aren't gonna vote for it. So that would affect the bill that way. Now it's time to give my opinion of the bill. Now, there's stuff in here that would hurt the middle class pretty bad. And there's stuff in here that would help. Obviously, having more jobs when it comes to infrastructure would help, but they're temporary until you get everything fixed. Of course, in my opinion, how long would that take? It might take a decade for that to happen. As much stuff is wrong with the infrastructure in the United States, it'll take a while. This bill probably is not going to cover infrastructure when it comes to the taxes they would pose on people. When it comes to tax credits, I like them. Anytime that people could get money back from the federal government from taxes, I'm for. And the reason is it's their money. You know, when this nation was started, they didn't have taxes. The money that the country got to pay for stuff, it was from tariffs, not from taxes. And I'd like to see the country maybe go back to something like that. Of course, the amount of tariffs we would have to put on people to pay for the crap we want, that people want, would be insane. So, and not only that, the people at the low end will pay for it anyway. So there you go. Let's just say there's no tax bill or no infrastructure bill that's going to make everybody happy. So the best thing to do is make a bill that no one's happy with. I think at least if you have not anyone happy, at least you got bipartisan support one way or other. I'm just saying. We want this country where people could start agreeing again with each other. That'd be the way to do it. Just piss them all off. With these bills that aren't really going to help anybody. All right, I'm at the end of my rant. I hope everybody enjoyed. If you didn't, I don't know what to tell you. Don't forget to subscribe, hit like, helps the channel grow. Peace.